Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby with Fitness is Medicine, and today I want to talk to you about ankle strength, ankle swelling, and ankle range of motion. So I'm gonna show you some exercises that you can do um, to improve your ankle range of motion, decrease swelling, and increase that strength in your ankles and your lower legs. Many times falls occur because we lack that strength in our lower extremities, in our ankles, and our feet. So we're going to work on some range of motion and some strength, and I'm going to talk to you about how to decrease that swelling if you have any. So what I'm going to do is mix up ankle exercises with full lower extremity exercises to help flush out that lymph, flush out that swelling. So you can do some range of motion, and then we're going to do a little bit bigger of an exercise to help keep that fluid and that extra swelling and all of that moving throughout the rest of your body. So we want to drain it from your ankles, essentially, correct? And increase that range of motion and that strength. But then you also need the rest of that leg strength, the rest of your, lower extremity strength in order to, sort of round out that balance. You want to have strong legs, strong ankles, good range of motion. And so we're going to go through quite a few exercises today. I'm just going to go through them all once. And they're really great to do all at once, or they're really good also to just do a few here and there. So some of these you can just do sitting on your couch at night. Put your, turn and put your feet up and do some ankle range of motion. I'll show you those. But it's really good to kind of go back and forth between the ankle and then a larger muscle group to help flush out that swelling if that's one of your things that you're trying to deal with. So today we're going to start with calf raises, standing. And this is really good for balance and ankle range of motion and foot strength and ankle strength, all of these things that we're talking about. So what I want you to do is go up on your toes and back down. So do this next to something for some support so that you can get that full range of motion. You want to go up on your toes like you're trying to see over something. You remember when you're a kid and you're standing on your tiptoes and you're trying to see over people? So we want to get that full range of motion. Go up as far as you can on your tippy toes. Make those toes splay out and work. Grab it. And we want to go slowly. So go up as high as you can, and then slowly come back down. I don't want you to go up and then, drop down. So that's why I want you to do it next to something where you can hang on. And you can do these, 10, 15, 20 times. Really work on that lower extremity, your quad, or your gastroc strength down here, your calf muscles. Those need to be strong to give you the balance and the support. Your whole body is balanced on those feet and ankles and lower legs. So you need those to be strong in order to give you that good, strong base of support that you need in order to stay on your feet, not fall, and all of those really important things as we start to get older. So we're going to do 10, 15, depending on how you're feeling with these. Just go all the way up. And you don't need to rock back necessarily. Just kind of try to control it down and then all the way back up. Okay, good. Next, we're going to lie down on the floor and find something to put your feet up on. So you can either sit on your sofa and put them up on the side, or I'm just going to use a ball here because and it's a little bit smaller of a ball, but this way I have my feet are up, which elevating your feet helps with drainage and helps with swelling. This is also a really great position if your back hurts. But we're going to do some ankle circles. So we're going to go all in one direction, and I want you to go nice and slowly, making as big of a circle as you can with those feet. So we're making big, big, big circles, like you're trying to draw circles with those toes. So you're pointing and you're flexing and you're moving all around. This is a really, really good one for that ankle range of motion. And as you do it, you're going to start to feel a little bit tired in those ankles. It can really work on that ankle strength and range of motion. Okay, now we're going to turn around and go the other way. So make those circles go the other way. The reason, like I said, we're on our backs is so that that drainage can start to flow back to our body. Also, we're activating a muscle pump. So the swelling can help, or our muscles can act as a pump to start moving that swelling back up, moving that fluid back up into our body so that we can process it and get rid of it. All right, so once you've done both sides about 10 times, then we are going to sit down, and you can sit on your ball or you can sit on a chair. I'm going to move this over here just a little bit. And we're just going to do seated heel-toe raises. So just like we just did standing, but we're going to do it seated. So it's a little bit different when you're seated. And this time I do want you to pull those heels up. So pull the heels back and then point those toes down. So you can either do all of these at once, like I'm showing you, or you can break them up, you know. Do some of these in the morning, do the standing ones while you're washing your hands, you know, or right after you wash your hands because you're standing in a good supportive place. So we want to go nice and slowly, about 10 times each. So pull those toes back as high as you can and then go up as high as you can on those, up onto the toes. Okay, now we're going to stand. I'm going to bring this back again and march. So we're going to activate some larger muscle groups to help move that swelling back up into the body so that our bodies, so our liver and our kidneys can process it. Just stand and march. Lift up those knees as high as you can. So we're working still on that lower extremity strengthening by being able to stand on one foot. And we're just working those legs, working that muscle pump that, like I said, the muscles, as they contract, kind of work as a pump to work your blood and your fluid kind of back up your legs. So they help your veins pump that fluid and your blood back up to your heart to process it. That's what we want. That's what should happen. But you may notice throughout the course of a day that your legs get a little bit more swollen. They may get a little bit achy. So these might be good to do, you know, midday when you're starting to feel that, or maybe in the morning to help kind of stave that off. All right, good. So now we're going to lie back down with the ball, and we're going to do ankle side to sides. So inversion and eversion. So we're going to put our feet back up like this, and we're going to go over to the side and then over to that side. So we can do them both at the same time. When I do this, I kind of have my feet flexed just a little bit, and we just want to make them go as far out to the sides as you can. If you don't have very much range of motion in those ankles, that's okay. Just really start to work on it, because this works on strengthening and on that range of motion, so you have that stable base of support as you get stronger. You want to go nice and slowly, both directions, working that ankle strength. Those lower extremity muscles are so important in maintaining our balance. And like I said, we're pumping that blood and pumping that fluid back up into our body so that we can process it and get rid of it. Okay, so we've done those side to sides, and now we're going to do some squats. So we're going to activate those larger muscles so that we can keep pumping that back up into our system. And all of these help on work on ankle range of motion as well. When you do a proper squat, you need that ankle range of motion to allow you to sit back. So we're not going to use any weights or anything today. If you have a hard time, so notice I've got a pretty good dorsiflexion going on there with my toes up. I want my weight in my heels here. We're sitting back, we're working those quads, working those glutes, making sure that, so we've started to pump it up the body, now we're using our quads and our glutes and we're pumping it up into our core. So if you have a hard time getting that good range of motion for those squats, stand next to something stable where you can use it to really sit back. So if I stand in front of something where I can hang on and sit back and really get that full range of motion the whole time. If you have a hard time getting down that far, that's okay. You know, you could just do smaller ones. I like to put my arms out front when I do that squat because it gives me that counterbalance so that I can sit back further. The other thing is you could do sit to stands here. Sit to stands are a great way to have perfect range of motion and perfect form with squats. Okay, got those large muscle groups working. Now we're going to come back down to the ball and we're going to do just ankle pumps. Actually, we're going to do alphabet instead. We're going to take it a little further because we've done the ankle pumps with the standing and the seated ones. Now we're going to do the alphabet, and this is easier to do with one foot at a time. So you could even just spell your name. So if you go and there's no really wrong way to do this, but envision that you have a pen on your toe and you're going to write, let's start with your name, because this is quite a lot of range of motion for your ankles, especially considering all the stuff we just did. But this is a good one to do, like I said, for that strength. And you know, maybe you're sitting on the couch at night watching TV and you turn and put your feet up and you just, you know, write your name a few times, or you do the whole alphabet so that you get all of that good range of motion. And then also your knees are having to work and your quads are having to work a little bit in order to do this. So we're just, you know, you can write out the alphabet, you can write your whole name, just take turns every few letters. And make sure you're getting both feet opposite, or both feet equally, so that, especially many times it's one leg or one foot is more swollen than the other, so it might be harder in one than the other, or you might think, well, I only really need to work the swollen one, but it's good to work both. It's good for that range of motion and that balance for both feet, no matter what, no matter, you know, if you don't have any swelling and you don't feel like you have any problem with that lower feet range of motion, go ahead and still do all of these, because I bet by the time we get to this point, you're starting to feel it in those shins, so your anterior tibialis and your peroneals and all of those feet and ankle muscles, they start to really get fatigued because they're not used to all of this specific work. So this is a really good thing for you to do, especially if you've ever had an ankle injury, things like that. Okay, next we're going to do bridges. So I need to make sure my screen is good here. I'm going to bring this down here. And again, we're going to pump that fluid and that blood, continue to pump it back up. So we worked your quads and your glutes. Now we're going to work your hamstrings and your glutes. So we're going to do some bridges. So if you want to start with your back nice and flat to the ground, hands beside your hips. Put your weight through your heels with this one. You want to think about pressing your hips towards the ceiling. Do a good 5-second hold and then release. Come back up. Those hamstrings really have to fire here. If you do get a hamstring cramp doing these, just stop and straighten out that leg and we'll just stretch out that hamstring good. But let's go ahead and do 10 of these. You want to hold them for about 5 seconds each. And relax. These are all really great body weight exercises you can do anytime, anywhere. You don't need any equipment. And anyone and everybody can benefit from these. Keeping that lower extremity strong and agile, avoiding falls. And these bridges, I'm telling you, these bridges are some of the most useful exercises as we get older. Keeping those legs strong is so vital. I see a lot of people when they're, they start to get, sort of that muscle wasting. The less you do, the more those legs start to shrink. And we want to build those muscles up. We want to stay as strong as we can for as long as we can. And these bridges are really important in, being able to move around in bed, being able to straighten yourself out, to, get in and out of bed, things like that. So keeping those legs strong is important for so many reasons. Okay, and the last one we're going to do is just plain old leg lifts. So we're going to work those hip flexors and those quads nice and slowly, moving all of that fluid all the way up into your body so we can start dealing with it. Make sure you drink plenty of water because that also helps flush your system, helps your lymph system work properly. Really important to drink lots of water. As we get older, our thirst sensation decreases. So it's really important to remember to drink water because your body might not tell you that it's thirsty, even though it's hard to think in these summer months. But really just keep a water bottle next to you, keep a glass of water next to you, put some ice in it, put some lemon in it, anything you need to keep it interesting and inviting for you to actually drink. All right, great job, everybody. That was quite a few exercises for your ankles and your lower legs. We mixed in some larger muscle groups so that we can work that muscle pump, work that fluid back up into your system. Please let me know if you have any questions or any specific problems that you are dealing with, and you might need a little extra guidance for some of these. But break them down. You can just do those ankle pumps. You can do those heel toe raises, seated and standing, anytime, anywhere. But try to work in those larger muscle groups too, like we did today, so that you can keep working on that full base of support all the way up. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.